This is The Front Stretch on AM 590, brought to you by Joe's Karting, online at joeskarting.com.
Well, we're just about ready to wrap up the show as we turn into Turn 4, salvaged by Kaziski Auto Parts. You're looking for quality used parts to get yourself back on the road, get your car or truck back in running condition. We'll give a guy a call today at Kaziski Auto Parts, 731-4592, 731-4592. You can also stop by the shop at 50th and I Street, over 900 different vehicles on the lot to choose from, different parts to pull from, so that way you don't have to pay that over-bloated, over-the-counter prices.
Andrew, I've always wondered, is there certain times of the year where you guys seem to push a lot more of any one item versus another?
That is correct. Usually in the winter, we saw a whole bunch of just engines and trannies, and now we didn't have a very good winter. What we say, it was a very nice winter for a regular person, but for us, we had a bad winter.
Okay, so and I would imagine like in the springtime, you might be selling like a lot of AC compressors.
AC compressors, yeah. A lot of time, we still sell wheels left and right. You'll get a whole bunch of guys come in. Oh, my 16-year-old daughter needs a wheel. She had a drainage ditch, and you'll get those all day, all year round. But usually, yeah, the AC compressors come out then, and then all of a sudden a lot of heating AC switches, and then all of a sudden, well, I need tires after that too. So we sell a lot. It's back and forth. It depends on what it is.
What's a hot ticket right now going on down there?
I honestly couldn't tell you right now. I mean, it's really slow in all the body shops and everything around. We're really just kind of selling everything. I mean, we're still pushing everything equally right now, but the hottest item's a wheel.
Wheel, normally.
And when you talk about a wheel, are you talking about the actual tire itself or the rim?
The rim.
Okay.
The rim, yep. Tires are still, everybody calls in to see because the tire price is just terribly high.
Yeah. I just had to replace the tires on my Ranger, and it's ungodly expensive, so I wouldn't recommend doing that.
No. Imagine buying race tires.
Screw that. Well, Andrew, we're going to talk today about setting your car up for Talladega. Completely different than what the guys had to do last week. Talk a little bit about what it takes to set your car up.
It's not totally setting the car up. It's more the mindset, I think, of going into the different strategies that the drivers, I mean, they've been prepping all week. You've heard a lot of people talk about it. And I'm just kind of going through a bunch of different articles I kind of read this week, asking drivers. Last year we saw Carl Edwards lag in the back the whole time, where Tony Stewart ran up front the whole time. The end of the race, look who finished where. Tony ended up in the front. Carl screwed himself up by ending up in the back, and that resulted in the point standings as well. Now, a lot of these guys, they're going to set up their car differently. They're going to run a little bit different gear. They can't turn the motors as hard because, like we already said, Gordon's been popping them left and right or having problems, especially with the way the money has been going right now. The Kurt Busch team, Phoenix Racing, they can't afford this. The Rudiman car, the Taco Bell or the Burger King team, those guys can't afford to be running as strong as they can. Right now, a lot of people are preparing, what are we going to do? When do we want to go forward in the race? And do we just want to lag back the whole time and try to finish and plan on a big one? Or is there going to be a big one? Well, now without tandem racing anymore, we better plan on having a big one, and it just depends on where you want to be as a driver and crew and car owner.
Now, I was asking you before we went back on air here, let's say you're racing in the NASCAR Cup Series. Where would you prefer to start? Would you like to run up front or run in the back and be conservative?
I'd like to be out in front as quick as I can and try to stay out there as long as I can.
Now, in your opinion, why is that?
Because it's the safest place to be. The only way you could screw up is if you do it yourself. I trust being first through about 6th place, because if you're good enough to be up there, those guys literally aren't going to probably try to wreck each other. But if you're in the middle of the field or anywhere in the back, you never know what might happen.
Yeah, you never know. And Dan, we were talking about this off air, and you said you actually hate this mindset. Me personally, I like to be, I don't have a lot of money to be going out and fixing this and fixing that. And Andrew's point is very, very valid. I mean, if you run up in the top 6, those top 6 guys are going to be really careful as to where they're putting their car. But at the same time, I like saving my tires, saving my equipment, on a long race like that. I'm not necessarily going to try to get to the front and blow the tires off the car. I'm going to want to take my time, be a little bit more patient, more conservative, and hope that by the end of the race, I'm actually back up to the front.
Yeah, and I can understand that, and it's not that I blame that. I hate it because I think, and this is just my perception of it, I believe it was Jimmy Johnson that was the one that started to do this first. When I come and watch a race, or I tune in to watch a race, I don't want to see the big guys, the big drivers that are always involved in the races at the end. I don't want to see them sitting back in 36th, playing it safe, I guess is what I'm saying. I want to see him up there mixing it up. And this is the reason why I'm more of a Tony Stewart fan than a Jimmy Johnson fan, is because Tony will get up there and mix it up all race long. I don't want you sitting in the back and just being like, oh, I'm going to wait back, and then within like 10 laps, all of a sudden you're in the front and you win the race. To me, that's chicken. And I understand why they do it. It's to save equipment, it's to save money, it's to play it safe, but that's chicken to me.
I agree 100%. And that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, as a spectator in the sport, you're sitting there and, man, Jimmy wins how many races? And he's sitting there running 27th all day or 30th all day. It's like, why? Why not give it a chance? Well, if the big wreck happens, he could get involved in it. You saw it happen at Daytona, happen the first lap. He didn't even plan on it happening. It could happen at any time. You never know when the big wreck might happen. The first-place car could break, and the second-place car could drive right underneath him.
No, and honestly, with what you guys are saying, I totally agree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. I would like to say I'm coming from a driver's standpoint where, guys like Kurt Busch, could he make a run for the top 10? He's got the drive and the ability, but in an organization as such, even with his new sponsor, why not, lay back their ways and take it easy and save. You sit there and say Kurt Busch or whoever back there in the back playing chicken, as you say it, Dan, they could be involved in that big one. That's absolutely correct. But how many times, have we seen, whether it be at Daytona, Talladega, Texas, at one of these super speedways where, you cut down a left rear tire or you cut down a right front tire and they go into the wall or something happens. Anything could happen at any given point in time on the track. Now, yes, the risk is greater of being involved in that 10-car pileup running back there in the mid to late pack.
So if the risk is always high that you're going to be involved in the big one and you're going to have your day ruined anyways, why not be up front and get your sponsors some TV time?
Well, imagine if you're starting 25th, 30th in the grid, 35th in the grid. Are you really going to want to try to hot dog it through that pack right then and there to get straight to the front, or are you going to want to play it safe? Because if you're Jimmy Johnson and let's say you're starting 35th and you got 34 cars in front of you at the beginning of the race, stay back there for, I'm not saying for the whole race, but stay back there till, maybe the last 50 to 100 laps or miles, and let these guys either have pit foo bars, or they're going to wreck each other out. They're going to do something like that. And you're playing it smart and you're playing it safe, but you're saving your equipment at the same time.
I think we all agree that we don't blame each other for each other's positions, but I'm just in the mindset of, if I was Jimmy Johnson and I'm a driver, I'm there to race. I'm not there to sit in the back and wait for something to happen and kind of seem scared. I'm there to lead laps. And I think we learned last year's chase, getting bonus points for leading the most laps or leading a lap. One more bonus point in 10 races and Carl Edwards would have been the champion. I mean, how many times do you think he's going to think about that this season, and maybe even today as the strategy's coming up? Do we sit in the back and play it safe, or do we get up there and lead a lap and get a bonus point, lead the most laps and get another bonus point? That's the kind of stuff that could come into play with these guys.
Who do you think your most aggressive driver will be in today's race?
Well, the man, Kyle Busch. He's going to be it at all times.
Oh, well, Kyle, you can't count him out, but I think Smoke will be pretty tough.
Smoke ain't going to lag down. I don't think you'll see him running outside the top 25 at all today.
And he's got a little bit of an anger issue from last weekend at Richmond with the mysterious caution, the failure on the crew, his bad restarts. There was a lot of stuff that he was extremely unhappy after that race. And generally, he's one of those guys that when he gets mad, you're done.
I really hope we don't see any of these stupid mystery caution, we have debris on the track type thing, or we're going to see a whole new version of Smoke today.
I don't think you're going to be able to see one of those at Dega. Wrecks are going to happen here, and I mean that's just how it's going to be, and it's how physical fit you are. Like we said before, Mark Martin, any older guy couldn't jump in this car. Terry Labonte couldn't jump in the car. I don't think he'd run Dega today, and if he did, he wouldn't be as strong as what Mark Martin is at his age. It's just going to be all those things factored in, and that's what you have to prepare yourself so much for Dega for. It's probably the hardest race on a person's body and mind, I think, in all of NASCAR.
Well, guys, in just a little while, we're going to have the green-white checkered for Talladega Super Speedway. Let me get your predictions. Andrew, let's start with you. Who do you think's going to take home the checkered today?
You know what? I really hope Junior does pull it off today, but I'm going to have to go with Michael Walter Brace, and Martin Truex Jr. is going to get the win today.
You're going with Martin over Clint.
I think I'm going to go with Truex today. Yeah.
Woo, buddy.
Now, see, I halfway agree with Andrew. It would be really special and really neat to see Dale Earnhardt Jr. come back and walk away from Dago with a W, but I'm going to go with Michael Waltrip Racing, but this time I'm taking Clint Boyer. He's ready. He's primed. He runs good at the super speedways. Michael Waltrip Racing is the real deal. I mean, they're here to compete. They're no longer a mediocre team.
Yeah, that's I think that's about the understatement of the year right there. It's shocking how good they're doing so quickly too. My pick is going to be Junior, and I'm going to request that Dale, if you do end up winning today, please, dear God, find a razor. That beard he is growing has gone from hideous to horrible.
Junebug.
Dan's just mad because Junior looks more manly than he does.
There's a lot of people out there that do. When you get this boyish figure, there's it's pretty
he
difficult. He kind of
looks like a Backstreet Boy if you think about it.
Actually, he does. Like an old, broke down Section 8 bankrupt Backstreet Boy.
Section 8?
That's where Buddy was raised at.
Oh, okay. Yes. And the interviewer has chimed in to slam Bud once again. So, Andrew, you're going with Michael Waltrip Racing. You're actually going to go with Martin Truex Jr. to win. Buddy, you're going with
Clint Boyer.
Clint Boyer's going to win it, and I'm taking Dale Earnhardt Jr. to win this today. As always, nothing on the line, and we're probably all going to be completely wrong.
I think we ought to put something on the line on this one.
What else do you have to lose? I'm already going to make you drive your cart in a pink tutu.
Whatever car, out of those 3 cars, whoever finishes the farthest ahead, the other 2 have got to buy the winner a drink at Quicker Steak and Lube.
I'll do that.
I'm game.
Because I would actually love to see you buy something one of these times.
I buy plenty.
The dollar menu doesn't count.
Oh, shucks.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate Wayne. Thank you so much for coming in, learning about Adams County Speedway. Again, acspeedway.com, or you can find them on the Facebook page, facebook.com/acspeedway.
That's right.
Schedules, track information on the Facebook page. Obviously, you guys will keep up to date with what's going on, the daily schedules, who's winning, track pictures, stuff like that. So head over to acspeedway.com, get all your information. Get over to Adams County Speedway and get some great racing in, or if you're just a fan like me, go get some great viewing in. For all of us here at the front stretch, myself, Dan Taylor, Andrew Koziski, and Buddy Ray, we'll see you at the track.
Summer is just around the corner, and that means your cooling system is going to be put to the test. Getting your car in for a radiator flush and air conditioner coolant recharge will save you a headache when we start seeing triple-digit temperatures. Kevin and the crew at Auto Connection will also service your car, which can increase your MPG and help you save at the gas pump. Located at 21st and P in Lincoln, online at autorepairlincolnne.com. Call 402-477-8200 to schedule an appointment today.
Hi, I'm Buddy Ray, driver of the number 25 Party Pantry Modified. When I'm headed to the track or my family needs a fill-up, we all head down to the Party Pantry, locally owned and operated just off the beaten path in Council Bluffs on 35th and 5th Avenue. Party Pantry has some of the area's best prices on food, snacks, beer, and gas, and has a great liquor selection. So stop by and see the whole crew at 35th and 5th Avenue in Council Bluffs, just off the beaten path, where you're treated like family with a name and you're not just a stranger.
Are you ready for fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, wheel-to-wheel racing right here in the Metro? Get to Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs and see what it's like to race real go-karts. Joe's Karting knows it's no fun to race go-karts at 10 miles per hour, so they ripped the governors out, and now the only restriction is how good you are at racing. It's full-throttle, white-knuckle racing every day of the week. Head over to joeskarting.com for hours, prices, and specials, or give Buddy a call today and set up your group races at 712-256-5278. This has been the Front Stretch Radio Show presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Become a fan of the Front Stretch on Facebook or email Dan, Buddy, and Andrew at frontstretch590am@gmail.com.